You Can't Make This Shit Up with Paul Elam and Tom Golden. Episode number 9. Number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on planet Earth, hurling at many, many thousands of miles an hour through space to who knows where. I am Paul Elam with a voice for men and an ear for men, and I am with, as always, Tom Golden from MenAreGood.com. And this is You Can't Make This Shit Up.
Because you can't.
Because you can't. We do not disappoint, I have to say. Not trying to brag. Every time we do this, we promise you to bring you 4 stories that you can't make this shit up. And we do it. We deliver every time. Why? Because the world delivers to us.
Yeah, boy, in spades.
The world is just full of stuff, particularly in the realm of gender that you just can't make up. We're going to start today with a tragic story of a woman in Minnesota who, thank God she was unsuccessful, but she's a daycare worker, and she hung a toddler in the basement of her home. And then proceeded outside, got in a car, and ran over 2 men. Almost killing them. Miraculously, nobody died in this situation. But think about it. She hung a toddler. She picked up a little boy. I believe it was a boy.
Yes.
And wrapped a piece of clothing around his neck and hung him from the ceiling. And why did she do this? Why, of course, because her husband was mean to her. So the judge, and I want to get this fucker's name correct here. I'm going to have to go look at the story. The judge's name is J. Quam. That's Quam. And he had a real strong statement to say that normally, under most circumstances, when somebody tries to hang a toddler and then runs 2 people over in a car, he would be leaning toward a severe sentence. But in this case,
oh God,
because get this, they had a recording of the woman's husband being angry at her. This is what it says in the news story. Notice it did not say they had a recording of the husband abusing her. It didn't have a recording of the husband threatening her. They certainly didn't have a recording of the husband telling her to hang a toddler and go out and run over 2 people with a car. They had a recording of her husband being angry with her. So instead of prison, she got probation. Now, somebody please explain to me how the fuck this happens.
Really?
And, as it turns out, she was only looking at, from the charges that were brought against her, she was only looking at 13 years maximum.
How could that
even if she'd gotten the full extent of the law, just based on the charges against her.
Wow.
Now, I know it's obvious this woman has mental health issues. People don't try to hang children unless there's something wrong with them. But if I tried to hang a child, do you think a judge would care that I had mental health problems? He'd say, fine, we have counselors in prison where you'll be spending the next 50 years.
But Paul, we just have to show the judge a tape of your wife being angry with you.
Oh, yes. If we did that, well, thankfully, one, just for the sake of accuracy, I do not have a wife.
Well, I was making it up.
If you have one, you could bet there would be a tape of her being angry at me. If you could imagine living with me, there would be a tape somewhere of her being angry at me.
That's probably true. That's probably
true. And I'm sure I could, matter of fact, I probably, since I do have a cohabitation relationship, I probably ought to piss Stacy off and record it. And then whatever crime I commit in the future for the rest of my life, I'll just produce that tape. Say, sorry, gotta let me go.
Get out of jail card free, baby.
Oh, wait, that, I forgot. You need a vagina.
Oh.
So, yeah, kind of screwed. Anyway, I wanted to do this story first, Tom, mainly because I found it so disgusting.
Yeah, difficult.
One, that kind of trying to hang a child.
I know.
That's something you beat somebody to death for.
Yeah, I thought I read that she put him in a noose. Was it a piece of clothing?
I think what I read was that, and we will have a link below so everybody can correct both of us.
Yeah.
But my understanding was that she made a noose out of clothing.
Yeah, that makes sense. But still.
Yeah, and still.
And the only reason the kid survived was that someone came down and found the kid and pulled him off before he died.
She did not stop this crime. No. Somebody else did. She left that kid to die. And got off without a single day in jail because her husband was mad at her.
Can you imagine being the parent of that little boy and seeing that this woman gets off with probation for doing that? Ooh, that'd be tough.
And let me say again one more time, I'm trying to develop a mental block to forget this idiot's name. Judge J. Quam, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. You should not be on the bench. You should immediately quit in shame and disgrace and go apply to work at McDonald's. Only I don't know if I want you around my French fries.
Yeah, and I'd say the same thing about that woman.
Yes.
You know?
Well, the woman we know is a criminal, and we know that she has issues and everything else, but this judge was the guy that we counted on to create the deterrent.
Yes, and to be civilized.
And to demand civil behavior.
Yeah.
And he did nothing.
He failed.
And so what happens the next time that this woman gets upset because her husband's mad at her?
Yeah, really.
You're going to kill a child? And if she does, then it's on Judge Quam's hands.
There you go.
Bastard. Anyway.
Qualms.
That's all I got.
And that's enough.
And that's enough on that.
Because you cannot make that shit up.
No.
I mean, just the story itself of what she did was, you couldn't make it up. But then having the judge on top of that is like crazy, crazy, crazy.
Crazy, crazy.
Well, Paul, speaking of crazy,
all right.
The next story is about the Las Vegas Aces. This is the Las Vegas women's national basketball team. And here's the headline.
It must be really fit. Professional sports and all that?
Yeah, you would think so. You would think so. Really fit and vigorous. And yeah. And here's the headline. WNBA team forfeits games because the players were too tired. The players were too tired, boys and girls. Can you imagine an NBA or NFL game where the players said, "We're too tired. We're not going to play tonight"?
Professional athletes.
Professional athletes.
And these women expect to be taken seriously.
These are the same women who are saying, why are we so underpaid compared with the NBA?
Well, one, nobody comes to your shitty games, but that's sort of a different story.
Average attendance, I think, at a WNBA game is like 5,000 to 6,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Average attendance for an NBA game is between 18 and 22,000, but those, of course, are limited because of the seats that are available. You look at the ticket.
It's 5,000 or 6,000 for the women when they're not too tired.
Yeah, something like that. When they're not too tired.
I'm surprised they get 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah, I am too. I wonder how they do that. I wondered about the ticket prices also. Whether they didn't make them a lot cheaper, and so people could come and give them away to family and friends, and
Yeah, I was going to go watch a game, but I was too tired. I didn't want to go. I know that the NBA subsidizes them. They
sure do.
They lose money. Women's basketball loses money, and when you don't play, you forfeit games because you're too tired to play. Are you going to wonder why you're losing money?
Yeah, yeah, and the skill level is just not the same as the men's teams. It's just not as fun to watch. It's just like
Tom, I'm going to give you the vote for the understatement of the year.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. Someone said that the average or the minimum salary for a WNBA player is $32,000 a year. $32,000 a year. That's not that much above minimum wage.
And it's still too much, considering that, hell, 3/4 of them can't do a layup.
Oh God. Ain't it the
I
truth?
mean, folks, don't take my word for it. Look on YouTube. Look at some WNBA games. Watch them for 5 minutes if you can stand the boredom, and you'll get an idea. These women can't play basketball on any kind of entertaining. It's why they're losing money. It's why they can't, sell houses out. And of course, they're apparently not even in good enough shape to play a regular schedule. That blows my mind. You shouldn't forfeit a game if you're too tired to play. You should forfeit a career.
Right. That's true. In their defense, they had a long time in getting from the one place to the other. I think like 22 hours or something like that. And but the NBA or the WNBA said, we'll postpone the game for an hour to give you more time. And they had 4 hours already. So they had like 5 hours before game time. They could have had a nap or something, But really, they didn't.
You think they give men any No way. Men would have absolutely no consideration. It's like, you be there at game time and play or shut up.
And no players would want to do that. Especially the guys who are second and third string, said, put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'm not tired. Fuck, put me in now.
That is fundamentally the difference. Like in men's football,
Yes.
even though I'm aggravated with football players right now, I didn't watch them last year, but they will take a shot of Novocaine in the knee when they're in pain, just so they can get on the field and play.
Yes.
I mean, they will play in terrible pain. They will play hurt. If they're able to stand up straight, if they're able to move at all, they'll be begging to get in on the action, because that's what real professional athletes do.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, I had a long plane flight. Do I need me a nap?
Oh, God.
Good Lord.
WNBA strikes again, Paul.
Well, like we say, you can't make this shit up, but then again, you don't have to.
Can't make it up.
Because it's happening for real.
Crazy, crazy. What's your next one?
Oh, my God, it even gets worse and even a little bit funnier.
It does get funnier.
Watch out, folks, in Sweden. The feminist government, by the way, Sweden has officially a feminist government since 2014 now.
Yeah.
And they have very, very powerful women's groups. And they have now started to wage a campaign against the sale and use of sex dolls. Or, as they said in the headline you will see below, dangerous sex dolls.
Dangerous sex dolls.
Now, get ready for some mental gymnastics, folks. I've got to walk you through this, a little bit. So limber up and, get ready to do a few backflips and everything else, because I got to explain to you the logic that feminists in Sweden are using. And I know, yes, feminist logic is an oxymoron, but we're going to have to go for their side of this argument for just a moment. What they are saying is that robots do whatever you tell them to do. And robots that look like women and do whatever they're told to do create an expectation in men that real women will do whatever they're told to do. First I want to say that's not entirely true. My vacuum cleaner always sucks. I've had plenty of women who wouldn't. So you can't really say that part is true. But so what they're trying to do is make these things illegal, and to make the sex robot brothels illegal because their argument is that in this new expectation of women never saying no heightens danger to women and causes rape.
Danger.
And of course, there is no research to back this up. Absolutely none. And as a matter of fact, the closest thing you can compare this to is like pornography, which Andrea Dworkin said for, 20 years of her bovine life that was a surefire way to get women raped, that pornography caused rape.
Yes.
But of course, and you'll find this link from Psychology Today, the research says that the more availability of porn, the less sexual assaults happen.
Right.
And there's every reason to believe that the same would be true with robots. Now, I want to first get your first reactions, and then I've got more to say on this. So, any thoughts you have?
First reaction is you can't make shit up. That's just, that's absolutely insane. But, the second reaction is, of course they're doing this. It's obvious they're doing this. It's their power. It's what they got. We got this power that we've been wielding for years, and someone else is going to take it. It's like a diamond company suddenly realizes how to fabricate diamonds for pennies, It's like, we'll never make that illegal, because that's not fair. Our diamonds are worth lots of money. Not anymore, bitch. Sorry. Yeah.
That's the case. I mean, and this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
It is not about rape.
No.
One, and I'll swear by this to my dying breath, feminists want more rape. They want more violence against women. They want more sexual assaults. They want anything to happen that can justify their funding.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't ever buy that they want to reduce sexual violence against women. If they wanted to reduce sexual violence against women, they'd be building sex robots.
Yeah, really. Isn't that
giving them away.
Good point.
What this is about is simply about female control. It's the power of the pussy.
Yeah.
And the feminist narrative has told us for the past, however long people have been dumb enough to be feminists, has been telling us that women are powerless.
Right.
That in a patriarchal society, that men have all the power. And one, that's bullshit. Pussy has been power for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Entire civilizations revolve around it. The old, if you've ever seen, and if you've ever had a girlfriend, you've probably been drugged to see My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And there's a line in there where the woman says, yes, the man's the head of the home, but the woman is the neck. And she can turn the head any way she wants to.
Very good.
And that is actually a very good description of the kind of power that women have.
Yes.
And that power is tied directly to the panoche, right? It is about the pussy. And right now, or at least until now, the pussy was like a handful of Krugerrands. Lots of worth of value.
And now,
if they make sex robots that are passable versions of women and that don't say no, and do what they're told each and every time, that handful of Krugerrands becomes a peso.
Just one peso?
Just one peso. You can't even buy a shit sandwich for 1 peso.
Yeah, that's it.
And this is what this fight is about. It is about keeping men's sexuality contained to women, preferably to feminist women.
We can't give men what they want.
No.
If they get what we want, then what we have is less valuable.
Absolutely.
We've got to program those robots to say no, at least 75% of the time.
Yes, absolutely. But again, these are inanimate objects.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if you hit your robot any more than if you hit a vacuum cleaner or if you kick the tire of your car. Feminists are so crazy that they're equating these bags of silicone to human beings.
Yeah.
And think about what this says also too, Tom. What it says to women, generally speaking, who are used to having all this sexual power, who are used to having men have to be the aggressors in relationships, men have to bring their wallets, men have to do this, men have to behave this way. You see article after article about what men need to do to make women happen. It's spread all over the universe.
Yeah.
And what's happening is that technology is saying, you know something, we don't need any of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can write your articles, or you can do whatever, but I can go in my closet and get a replacement for you.
Yes.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed.
Ouch, indeed. And it's about time.
Yes,
Women have gotten
really
so arrogant off of their power since feminism that, look, I don't care. The angst that these women feel, the oh my God, what if men don't need us for sex? What will they do for us anymore? That anxiety it's created, you fucking deserve it.
Yeah, really.
You earned it.
Really.
You want to do something about it? Now try and make yourself a worthwhile human being.
Try and love men for a while.
And see if somebody says maybe you're better than a bag of silicone.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my say on that story.
It's interesting, the idea, Paul, that they think that robots are objectifying women. Because if you take that argument a step farther, then you would say that dildo, that silicone dildo they use, is objectifying men.
Sure it is.
And if that's the truth, then wouldn't the same logical conclusion come from that? That by doing that, they were expecting men to be utilities, you know?
Just like
Never saying no. Dildo doesn't say no.
the sexiest bulge in a man's pants is his hip pocket. Men and women both are objectified.
Yep.
We are.
There you go. Exactly.
We're human beings.
Yeah.
We are wired to be attracted to attributes.
Yeah.
Only a feminist can take that basic reality and turn it into something sinister and something evil that we need to overcome. The fact of the matter is we're attracted to tits, and that doesn't work well to women's advantage because we are at the point technologically we're this close to what I call the good enough level.
Yes.
There is a level of technology that right now most sex dolls are still like rubber dolls, and they're getting better and they're very attractive, and there's a big market for them right now.
Yes.
But they still haven't reached that point where a man will think about that being a sufficient replacement sexually, where the average guy would do that. When they get to that level, imagine what's going to happen. You're going to have millions of men out there, and there's some guy that's going to be for about the 5,000th time, he's going to have some woman in his ear going on and on and on about what he doesn't do for her and how he doesn't make enough money and how he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that and he needs to do more of this and more of that. And when that technology reaches the good enough level, at some point that guy's going to snap and that's it. And there won't be any turning back.
MGTOW, baby.
It'll be a MGTOW revolution like you've never seen before.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if a guy can get the sex without the baggage and it's a reasonable facsimile for the real thing, that's what they're going to do. And it's a rational decision.
And that's why they're so afraid, you know. I thought it was interesting, they were talking too about the brothels, not allowing brothels with sex dolls in Sweden, you know. And think about it. I mean, a sex doll is a safe way to have sex. You know, you're not going to get an STD hopefully from a sex doll. Whereas women, you never know, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a lot of implications with that for sex workers.
Yes.
Because we're talking about replacing them too.
Yeah.
At some point.
That's a good point.
I mean, personally, I think that'll leave prostitutes alone and leave their customers alone.
Really?
Let consenting
Really?
adults do what they want to do with,
Exactly, Paul.
and not be bothered by the freaking law
It's
in any of this. But we are still so messed up with feminism. Now they want to intervene between men and bags of silicone. Like, oh, that's dehumanizing. Well, guess what? They're not human, you dumb fuck.
exactly.
Oh, well, I think I've had enough of this story.
All right, let's go to the last one.
Let's go to the last one.
It's another, can't make this shit up.
I have no doubt.
Transgender actor asserts existence of biologically female penis.
I'm sorry. You have to read that again.
Transgender actor asserts existence of a biologically female penis.
A female penis.
A female penis. A man's penis becomes a female penis once a man declares himself to be transgender, says India Moore, one of the players in a transgender-themed TV show on FX Network. So that means...
Did they give any kind of rationale for, I mean, how do we arrive at a female penis?
Moore extended the female penis claim by declaring the existence of male vaginas, which are presumably carried by women who are living as men. Don't use science to justify your bigotry, Moore tweeted at critics of the female penis claim. The world is way too weird for that shit. What she's saying is that once you believe that you are a certain sex, all of the cells in your body become that particular sex.
Oh yeah, of course that happens every day.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can't make this shit up. What's interesting to me, I mean, that's funny. I've been having fun with my wife with this one, talking about a male penis or a female penis and whatever. But what's interesting to me is the reaction to all of this, and who this is pissing off the most. Who do you think is getting the most pissed off about this?
Well, God, in today's world,
Yeah.
man, that's a hard guess.
Give it a shot.
There's so many victim groups out there to get pissed off about this. I'm gonna rule out MRAs and men in general. I just find it funny. I'm not angry about it. I'm just like, oh my God, this person believes their chromosomes change with their belief system. Would it be the TERFs, the trans?
So you know about TERFs?
Yes.
Yes, the trans-exclusive radical feminists.
They are the ones that are the most upset about this.
They are very upset about this, as are gays apparently, for different reasons, or actually similar reasons. But the TERF, listen to this. The term coined to identify women like Mrs. Parker and Dr. Long is TERF, which stands for Trans-Exclusionary Radical Feminist. In Britain, TERFs are a powerful force. If in the United States, the mainstream media has been alarmingly ready to hear both sides on the question of trans people right to exist, in Britain, TERFs have effectively succeeded in framing the question of trans rights entirely around their own concerns. That is, how these rights for others could contribute to female erasure. Female erasure. You see, the feminists for how many years now? 50 years have been saying everything is socially constructed. There's no difference between men and women. But now, if men start saying that they're actually women, then and we give them license to do that, then the feminist territory has been encroached upon. No longer is it female space, because they've got this people who think they're females there, but biologically they're not females, So this is getting them upset. There was three or four radical feminists went to the Heritage Foundation and talked about this very thing. And guess what? The Heritage Foundation, which of course is a very conservative group, gave them a standing ovation.
You're kidding me.
Nope, I'm not kidding. Fascinating, eh? So this whole thing, the whole trans issue, which I think we're going to be talking about next week, is pushing to the surface things that are difficult and are challenging some of the assumptions that have been made for years. The whole thing with gays and why they're upset about it, is that the definition of a homosexual is a man who is attracted to another man sexually. I mean, that's the way they define it. But if a woman can become a man and think that she's a man, that starts to degrade that definition of homosexuality. The same thing with lesbianism. And this article, you can, guys, if you want to, you can read this article. It's absolutely fascinating, what they're talking about. But they have some great quotes in there. In fact, I'll read a little bit if you want to hear some from the gay guy about what his perspective was. If you abandon biology and the matter of sex and gender altogether, you may help trans people live fuller, less conflicted lives, but you also undermine the very meaning of homosexuality. If you follow the current ideology of gender as entirely fluid, you actually subvert and undermine core arguments in defense of gay rights. A gay man loves and desires other men, and lesbian desires and loves other women, explains Skye Gilbert, a drag queen. This defines the existential state of being gay. If there's no such thing as male or female, the entire self-definition of gay identity, which we've spent generations seeking to validate and protect from bigots, collapses. Contemporary transgender ideology is not a complement to gay rights. In some ways, it is an active opposition to them.
Okay.
So the whole trans thing is really bringing some interesting arguments out from people you wouldn't expect.
And I'm sure we'll be getting into this further when we talk with Janice about it. But I was going to also suggest, man, if you want to cure the problem of being too tired to play a basketball game, just replace all the women
with trans women.
With trans women.
Yes.
And they'll make it out on the court and play and put on an entertaining game because they're superior athletes.
They will play their butts off.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, Paul.
Oh.
That's exactly right.
That is, but still, I mean, I'm a guy that was born in the mid-1950s, so I've seen the world change a little bit.
Yes, me too.
In the time that I've been alive, but I can't imagine a time in my life, in my teens or 20s or 30s or 40s or even 50s, where I thought I'll be sitting and having a discussion about a belief system that changes your biology because you think something about yourself.
Yes, that people have male or female penises or vaginas. And, there's a lot of support for this in the mainstream.
Well, I've met a few women who were dicks, but I don't think that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing.
Not quite the same thing.
Yeah. It's going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting.
It is very interesting. Man, boy, I tell you what, I don't think we're ever going to run out of material, Tom.
No, male penises, female penises, sleeping in games, hanging toddlers. Sheesh.
And a reminder to all you guys, if you have stories you want to come hang out with us on doing this discussion, let us know. We will certainly open it up to you to come in and join us for a discussion on shit that you can't make up.
Really? That the male or female penis article, my wife gave me that. I tried to talk her into coming in with us. She wouldn't do it. So.
Oh, man.
We'll give her hell. We'll give her hell.
Oh, well, she came up with the story.
Yeah, she comes up with a lot of them, actually.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, she's good.
Well.
Are we finished?
I think we're finished.
I think we are, too.
I think we've done our thing.
Another 4 stories that you can't make up, man.
And we will be back again soon with 4 more.
Indeed. We will.
Up. Meanwhile, men are what?
Men are good.
Yes, they are. As
Indeed.
Are you.
As are you. You all take care. We'll see you.
Next time, guys.
See if I can turn this thing off.
Why don't you turn the thing off?
Yeah. Let's see.